Welcome. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how to find the side length of a rectangle or square given its perimeter or area. So the first thing to note is what perimeter and area actually mean. So perimeter is just the distance around a figure. So for example, suppose I have this rectangle and I want to know its perimeter. Well, this is just going to be all the sides added together because I want to know the distance all the way around it. So if I were figuring that out, it would be 10 plus 3 plus 10 plus 3, which would be 26. And now units are really important here, so because it's distance around and I'm measuring the distance in inches on each side, then my perimeter is 26 inches. If I looked at the perimeter of this square, well, it's the same thing. It's the distance all the way around it. So 6 inches plus another 6 inches plus another 6 inches plus another 6 inches is 24 inches. So to get the perimeter, you're just going to add the sides together. The area is measuring something a little bit different. What the area is measuring is how much space is taken up by a figure. So the way to find area is actually to multiply, in the case of a rectangle or square, it's to multiply the length and the width together. So if I wanted to find the area of this rectangle, I would multiply its length by its width. So the area here would be 10 inches times 3 inches. And now notice that I'm going to end up getting 30. 10 times 3 is 30, but now I've got inches times inches, which is square inches. So my units are square inches. Literally what that means is I could fit 30 of these square inches, which is literally a little square that's an inch on each side. I could fit 30 of those in this figure. That's what that's saying. So the units again are very important. If I were to find the area of this square, well again I'm going to multiply length times width, which in this case are the same because it's a square. So I would get 4 inches times 4 inches, which would be 16 square inches. Okay, let's take a look at number 1. So number 1 says the perimeter of a square garden is 264 feet. How long is each side? Well, this one lends itself really nicely to a picture. So it's a square garden. So I'm going to draw a square. And now, as we saw before, with squares, all the sides are the same. So I don't know what this side is. That's my goal, is to figure it out. So I'm going to call this side x, which means this side has to be x, which means this side has to be x, which means this side has to be x. And what they're telling me is the perimeter is 264 feet. So I'm going to write that as perimeter equals 264. Well, to find the perimeter of a square, I'm just adding up all the sides together. So what that means is if I take x plus x plus x plus x, I should get 264. Well, if I add all those x's together, that's 4x equals 264. And if I divide both sides by 4, I'm going to end up getting x equals 66. And now again, the units are important, and so since perimeter was measured in feet, that means each of my sides are going to be in feet as well. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. I want you guys to try number 2. Pause the video and then restart when ready. Okay, so number 2, same thing, same idea. We've got a square, and they give us the perimeter of the square. It's 276 centimeters in this case. So what I know is that if I add all the sides together, that we should get 276. So that means 4x has to equal 276. If I divide both sides by 4, we end up getting x equals 69. And again, the units in this case are centimeters. Alright, let's take a look at number 3. I want you to try that one, pause the video, and then restart when ready. Okay, now notice number 3, it's no longer a square, it's a rectangle. So what they're saying is the length of the rectangle is 97 feet. What's the width? Well, really, to be honest with you, whether I label this side 97 or this side 97, it doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to label this side as 97, and my job is to find the width, which I don't know, so I'm going to call that x. And what they're saying is if I add all those pieces together, so x plus 97 plus 97, that I should get an answer of 364. So if I add my like terms, I've got 2x plus 194 equals 364. Subtract 194 from both sides, which gives me 2x equals 170. And if I divide both sides by 2, we get x equals 85. And the units were feet. Okay, and then the last one. Give that one a try, pause the video, and then restart when ready. Okay, so for the last one, again, they're giving us a rectangle. And they're saying that the width of the rectangle is 52, so I'm just going to label 52 and 52. And we're supposed to find the length, which we don't know, so I'm going to call those x. But this time they're actually giving me the area. So they're saying the area is 4940 square yards. And so the way to find area is to multiply length times width. So for me, that would be 52 times x equals 4940. Divide both sides by 52. And we're going to get an answer of 95. And the units, well, since my area units were square yards, that means each side had to be in yards.